All right. So I just had a revelation. I've been working on my self-mastery and looking at how society works as a whole, and also how that influences our behavior based off of how the cells and how God programmed the world. You know, as far as perfection goes, we are programmed to self-destruct because, not self-destruct, but evidently be wiped out because of sinful action. Sinful action is a lack of obedience and faith. So, what that means is that there are certain things that we're supposed to do, and if we don't do them, then we would evidently be wiped out from other people and other situations because of that we're not doing what we're supposed to do. So let's say if I was doing something wrong, somebody else, or doing something that is just out of society's character or the system, the way that it's supposed to work. By the way, this is not a wedding ring or anything like that. This is for, it's actually help with, it's a certain stone. All right. It helps with, you know, the give and take of electronics and give and take of electricity in the body, as far as you know, how do I explain that? Basically, when we wear these stones, they actually support the body in certain ways to where we're able to function better. Okay, same thing as if you're wearing an iron thing, is to help with the blood flow, stuff like that. So moving forward, so because this is the case, and we attack each other based on these things, there's also sinful inclinations. So when somebody is doing good, the sinful side of us, the defect that is in us would attack another person because it's defected. We're defected. So if we do that, or if somebody does that when we are excelling, then technically we become the target, or that person becomes the target to be wiped out. So in doing so, that's why you see this tug of war between good and evil, so to speak. All right, but you know, it is what it is. And this whole process is actually a self-cleansing process for the system to work in a harmonious way. All right, aka us all living in paradise. So according to perfection, that means that if God had put in all these processes for things to be wiped out, it means that the potential of this negative thing can always come back. But if it does come back, it will be wiped out right away. All right, either through the process of mental cleansing, or actually being wiped out because there's no reason for it to be here. So that is the way that God thinks. You think about, the thought process. Look, I know him, okay? and I want you to know him. So that's what Jesus was here for, to actually help us to get to know that who God really is. And he works this way. This is who he is. So he will wipe you out. He works like a computer. It is what it is. All right. And the master programmer, or the programmer of this computer that works within, or an active agent that works within the programming of the computer, is Jesus. So an active agent. Okay. Just so I know, it sounds, some kind of way, but honestly, that is what what he's doing, and he'll give us everything under the sun so we don't get wiped out, because we are worth more than many sparrows. So there's a lot of good that, you know, for us to be here. This is the whole purpose. All right. And it gets even further down the line. But this is the revelation. So if you understand how your body works, and the way that this is the beautiful thing about self-mastery, and then comparing it to God's thinking. All right. If you understand that, and understand that the universe works this way, a lot of those things where they say issues we have put on ourselves, that is what that is, because we're actually doing something that would denote us to be wiped out. Even with Great Depressions, there's a lot of things, cancers, ultimately he put systems here to help us to avoid these things. And through our disobedience, we suffer the consequence. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So, keeping it 100, this is how it works. Now, me personally, I know, I think about my own situations. I made way more money than the average, but I was also cutting corners. These corners were not supposed to be cut. Because I cut the corners, I was put back. All right, facts. That's the way. That's leveling out in the system. All right, that's the system leveling me out, because I was. But even though I'm highly appreciated, but there is a certain balance that needs to be maintained. So if I need to make more money, it needs to come through a different direction, meaning, i.e., another business or something along that lines. Because I was tipping, big money. I was tipping like almost $4,000 a week. So, like, if that don't disrupt the system, I don't know, because this is gonna flag you. It is what it is, and I knew it was coming. So my disobedience had me put back down. You know what I'm saying? I should have got like 4,000 once every 2 weeks, and then dropped it back down. You know what I'm saying? So I could stay under the radar. But it is what it is. When we start feeling that way, we start tasting it. It's good. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. We're supposed to stay obedient. All right. So in doing that, that can actually help a person's mentality of doing what they're supposed to do in the system. All right. The system's programming is to keep everything harmonious. All right. If you overindulge, it's going to level you out. Karma. Okay. That's just the way it is. So, me personally, I'm like being trained as a T cell. So that means that I can give information that will help, like how Jesus did, or any of them, that the system in itself, or God in himself, is actually teaching through these means. And that's according to my obedience. And according to my obedience, you get blessed, right? So that's how that is. That's why that is. All right, moving forward. Because I don't want to bring too much attention to myself. It's not about me. It's about all of us. So, I mean, everybody just hold it down and do the best you can. Work in society. If you become a menace to society, society will wipe you out. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it's programmed. That's the way it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. There's so many levels. So this is what self-mastery does. It allows you to understand the big all the way to the small, and how the small affects the big. So that's the same thing as faithful in little is faithful in much. All right? I'm doing my best, but, I understand, even though that I've been grinding, I'm not getting straight A's. You know what I'm saying? So there's plenty of people who could do better than me. You know what I mean? So y'all need to, jump on the ball and get up in it. You know what I mean? Do what you're supposed to do by God, and relate everything to Jesus and Jehovah. That is the facts. All right? when you do that, you golden. All right? All right? And y'all hold it down.